Okay, so the next part of this sequence for increasing our sensory awareness of our body in order to improve how we move is using the slow-mo ball underneath the back of the pelvis to get the pelvis moving around the thigh bones well, and also to get the lumbar spine moving, which tends to get locked up in most people in our culture, partly from sitting too much and partly just we don't really use ourselves very well there. But this is a wonderful tool to increase movement in that area. Come with me. Lie down on the floor. Notice your footprint on the floor, how your body organizes itself on the floor, where it's heavy, where it's light. And notice your lower back curve. So your lower back curve starts just at the top of your pelvis. And it will, where does it land? Where do you feel it land on your rib cage? And then determine how much of a curve it is. Is it quite a sharp curve? Is it a low, long curve? Just for yourself, just answer that question. Bend your knees, stand your feet. Place the ball underneath the back of the pelvis. And you might need to reposition it a bit so that you feel supported. You're not tipping this way, which is arching your back, or you're not flattening out your back, which is rounding your back. You're in a neutral position, sort of, with your pelvis on top of the ball. So this is your centered position. And then imagine that your pelvis is a clock. Your navel, your belly button area is 12 o'clock. Your pubic bone is 6 o'clock. Your right pelvic bone, the front of your pelvic bone, is 9 o'clock. And your left front of your pelvic bone is 3 o'clock. To begin with, I'd like you to rock and roll between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Rounding the lower back, lengthening through the back of the spine, and then inhaling, lengthening through the front of the spine to drop the pubic bone, the weight of the pubic bone towards the floor. Your back arches up off the ground. The space between the pubic bone and the sternum lengthens in this position. And then in the other position, the space between the pubic bone and the sternum gets shorter. Longer as you breathe in, and shorter as you exhale. Then we're going to go from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock and back to 3 o'clock. So you're just kind of dropping your 9 o'clock off the side of the ball, then coming back across and dropping the 3 o'clock. It's actually quite a small movement, and you can help that movement by pushing into your feet. But it's the pelvis moving. It's not moving your knees from side to side. It's simply rotating your pelvis around the ball. The ball is the ball bearing, and you're just rolling your pelvis from one side to the other. And again, breathing is great, especially in and out through the nose. Nine o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then I come back to my centered point. Take a breath here, take a pause. Pauses are really important. It's like the pause allows your body and nervous system to catch up with one another. And if you wish, you can do a full circle. So 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Then go in the opposite direction. 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And I'm not squeezing my glute muscles or my bum muscles. I'm really trying to do this from a sense of my back of my pelvis surfing on the ball. Back to center. Pause here. Sense the weight of the pelvis on the back, on the support of the ball. Press into your feet, lift the pelvis. Take the ball out. Roll down through your spine. Lengthen the legs out. And I'm going to now focus in on sensing how that lower back curve may or may not have changed from doing that movement. My whole back, my whole spine is on the floor now, which feels lovely. And what that tells me is that I have released unconscious tension that I hold in my lower back. And then roll to your side and come out of the position.